This show is part of OnePlace, a daily network of focused briefings across the stories people follow most.
Welcome to our daily sports roundup. I'm here with the latest updates on international soccer, the NFL, and the NBA. We have a lot to cover today, so let's get right into it.
Phil Foden faces a World Cup roster battle.
World Cup ticket prices hit $11,000.
Tiger Woods declines the Ryder Cup captaincy.
Jalen Hurts faces uncoachable labels in Philadelphia.
Awa Pham leads the new WNBA mock draft.
Fans vote for the ultimate World Cup fanbase.
Wembanyama ignores critics of the Spurs' inexperience.
Bam Adebayo evaluates Jason Tatum's physical recovery.
First, the England squad. England manager Thomas Tuchel has sent shockwaves through the football world by suggesting that Phil Foden is not a guaranteed selection for the upcoming World Cup squad. Despite Foden's status as a Manchester City superstar and a regular for the national team, Tuchel was quite blunt about the midfielder's recent performances. Foden started both of England's recent friendlies, a disappointing 1-0 loss to Japan and a 1-1 draw against Uruguay. But he failed to truly make his mark. Tuchel noted that while Foden has been excellent during training camps, he is struggling to translate that form onto the pitch when it matters most. This is a massive wake-up call for a player many considered a lock for the starting 11, let alone the final roster.
The competition for those attacking midfield spots is becoming incredibly fierce under Tuchel's new regime. With players like Jude Bellingham and Morgan Rogers providing strong options, and even with Cole Palmer also struggling to impress in the Japan match, the pressure is mounting. Foden was utilized as a number 10 against Uruguay, and then experimented with as a false 9 against Japan, but neither role seemed to unlock his best form. Tuchel's comment that it is not a guarantee he will come puts Foden and Palmer on notice. They now face an anxious wait as the final squad selection approaches. It is clear that reputation alone won't be enough to secure a plane ticket this summer, as Tuchel demands consistent production over past accolades and club-level success.
Next, World Cup costs. If you were planning on attending the 2026 World Cup final in New Jersey, you might need to check your savings account again. FIFA has implemented another round of price hikes, with some tickets for the final at MetLife Stadium now reaching a staggering $10,990. This latest sales window has seen price increases for 40 out of the 104 scheduled games. These Category 1 tickets, which cover much of the lower two bowls, have jumped significantly from the previous price of $80 to $700 earlier this year. When sales first began, these same seats were priced at just over $6,300. It is a massive escalation that is drawing heavy criticism from fans and lawmakers alike who feel the average supporter is being priced out.
The backlash is growing, with European fan groups filing formal complaints with the European Commission, calling these prices exorbitant. Even in the United States, Democratic lawmakers have accused FIFA of price gouging. FIFA has defended the move by pointing to the high demand and the specific dynamics of the North American market, while also reminding everyone that they are a nonprofit that reinvests revenue into global soccer development. However, the hikes aren't just for the final. Opening matches, like Mexico's game against Saudi Arabia, have seen prices climb to nearly $3,000. Most of the increases target teams that draw the largest crowds, such as Brazil, Argentina, and England. It seems FIFA is leaning heavily into dynamic pricing, making this the most expensive World Cup in history for the fans in the stands.
Now to golf news. Tiger Woods has officially confirmed that he will not be serving as the United States Ryder Cup captain for the 2027 event at Adare Manor. This news comes on the heels of a very difficult week for the golf legend following a rollover car crash. In his first public comments since the accident, Woods stated that he needs to step away from these responsibilities to focus on his personal and professional well-being. For a long time, the golf world had assumed that Woods would naturally take the helm for the 2027 matches, but his current health and recovery must take priority. The PGA of America released a statement expressing their full support for Tiger's decision, acknowledging that he personally informed them of his inability to take on the captaincy role at this time.
This announcement adds another layer of uncertainty to Tiger's future in the sport. Beyond the Ryder Cup, The Masters also confirmed that Woods will not be part of the field for next week's tournament. It is a significant blow to the sport's visibility, as Tiger remains its biggest draw, but the focus remains entirely on his recovery. The debate over who will lead the U.S. team in 2027 is now wide open, as many had stopped considering other candidates under the assumption that the job was Tiger's if he wanted it. While the PGA Tour and other organizations have rallied around him with words of support, the reality is that the competitive landscape will have to move forward without his leadership on the sidelines for the foreseeable future, as he works on himself.
Moving to the NFL. The Philadelphia Eagles are facing a turbulent offseason, and the latest reports from ESPN suggest that quarterback Jalen Hurts is at the center of some internal friction. Anonymous sources within the organization have reportedly labeled Hurts as uncoachable, citing poor body language and a lack of buy-in during difficult moments. This criticism follows a 2025 season where Hurts saw a decline in his performance across several key metrics, including his signature rushing touchdowns. The report highlights a specific moment during a playoff loss to the 49ers where a failed fourth-down play led to finger-pointing on the sideline. Some sources claim Hurts resisted adjustments to the play call, leading to a breakdown in communication. It is a startling narrative for a player who was recently seen as the unquestioned leader of the franchise.
The concerns extend to Hurts' performance in high-pressure situations. While he has the physical tools to be elite, critics point to a hesitation to let the ball rip and a general resistance to changing the offensive scheme. Statistically, Hurts has lagged behind his peers in fourth-quarter comebacks and game-winning drives, which some attribute to an inability to make necessary in-game adjustments when the initial plan fails. There are also reports that he frequently changes plays at the line of scrimmage, sometimes deviating from the coaching staff's vision. With the Eagles already dealing with trade rumors surrounding A.J. Brown and salary cap challenges, this perceived rift between the quarterback and the staff adds a layer of instability to a team that, on paper, should still be a top contender in the NFC.
Next, the WNBA draft. The landscape of the WNBA is shifting rapidly as a new wave of talent prepares for the 22,000 draft. According to the latest mock drafts, Spanish sensation Awa Fam is currently projected to be the #1 overall pick for the Dallas Wings. At just 19 years old, the 6'4" forward from Valencia brings a level of versatility and passing ability that is rare for her size. If she goes first, she would be the first international prospect to do so since Lauren Jackson in 2001. Fam's rise has seen her move ahead of other college stars like Olivia Miles and Azzi Fudd. Her ability to operate in the pick and roll alongside a playmaker like Paige Buchers makes her an incredibly enticing prospect for a Dallas team looking to build a long-term powerhouse.
Following Fam, the Minnesota Lynx are projected to take TCU's Olivia Miles at #2. Miles is a dynamic guard known for her elite passing and ball handling, and she would provide a youthful spark to a veteran Lynx roster. At #3, the Seattle Storm are eyeing UConn's Azzi Fudd, who is widely considered the best pure shooter in this class. While Fudd has dealt with injuries, her off-ball gravity would create immense space for Seattle's other young stars. The draft also features Kiki Rice from UCLA, who is expected to go to the Washington Mystics. This class is being hailed as one of the deepest in recent memory, following the massive success of players like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. The influx of young talent is clearly accelerating the league's growth and competitive balance.
Now, fan voting. The excitement for the 2026 World Cup is extending beyond the pitch with the launch of the Ultimate Fan Base Bracket. This competition, sponsored by Lay's, allows fans to vote for which of the 48 qualified nations has the most passionate and loudest supporters. The teams are seeded based on their combined social media following across platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Heavyweights like Brazil, the USA, France, and Argentina have already secured top seeds and first-round buys. The voting is taking place throughout the month of April on various social media accounts, and the winning nation will receive an official billboard in front of their team's training facility. It is a fun way to engage the global community and build anticipation for what is expected to be the biggest sporting event ever held.
Some of the first-round matchups are already generating a lot of buzz. We're seeing Canada fans, who will be out in full force as co-hosts, going up against the well-traveled supporters from Switzerland. Another interesting clash features the kilt-wearing fans of Scotland against the passionate supporters of Bosnia and Herzegovina. Even nations like Qatar and Czechia are in the mix, with Czechia fans celebrating their first tournament appearance since 2006. This bracket highlights the diverse cultures and traditions that make the World Cup so unique. Whether it's the singing of national anthems or the colorful displays in the stands, the tournament is as much about the people in the seats as the players on the field. It will be fascinating to see which fanbase ultimately claims the title of the world's best by the end of April.
Shift to the NBA. Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs are currently on a tear, riding a 10-game winning streak that has propelled them into serious title contention. Despite their success, some critics remain hesitant to label them as true favorites due to their lack of championship experience. Aside from veterans like Harrison Barnes and Luke Cornett, the roster is incredibly young. However, Wembanyama isn't interested in that narrative. In a recent interview, he dismissed the experience concerns with a blunt, screw-it attitude, stating that the team will continue to play at 100% regardless of what outsiders think. His confidence is infectious, and it's clear that the Spurs have transformed from a lottery team to a dangerous postseason threat in just one season. They are now breathing down the necks of the Oklahoma City Thunder.
The rise of the Spurs is a testament to the talent of Wembanyama and the coaching of Mitch Johnson. Wemby is playing at an MVP level, supported by a strong core including De'Aaron Fox and Keldon Johnson. The team is drawing comparisons to the Thunder's own rise, where they were once labeled as too young, before eventually winning a title. Now the Thunder are the ones trying to defend their crown, while the Spurs look to dethrone them. Wembanyama's refusal to let the inexperience tag bother him shows a maturity beyond his years. As the playoffs approach, the Spurs are becoming the team that nobody wants to face. Their defensive intensity and Wembanyama's unique skill set make them a nightmare matchup, and their current momentum suggests they are ready to defy all expectations this year.
Finally, Tatum's return. Jason Tatum has made a remarkable return to the Boston Celtics after tearing his Achilles tendon less than a year ago. He recently put up a massive triple-double against the Miami Heat, recording 25 points, 18 rebounds, and 11 assists. It was arguably his best performance since coming back, proving that he can still dominate a game. However, his longtime friend Bam Adebayo offered a more grounded perspective after the game. Adebayo admitted that while he is incredibly proud of Tatum for pushing through such a devastating injury, he can tell that the Celtics star is still not in peak physical shape. It is a reminder of just how difficult the recovery process is for an Achilles injury, even for an elite athlete who is already producing at a high level on the court.
The Celtics have managed to win over 50 games this season, despite Tatum missing significant time, which is a testament to their depth. For the Heat, the loss was a blow to their morale, as they sit in the 10th seed, likely heading for the play-in tournament. Adebayo's comments highlight the respect between the two players who have known each other since they were 12. He noted that you have to tip your hat to someone who has been through that kind of trauma and is still out there competing. As the regular season winds down, the focus for Boston will be getting Tatum back to 100% for a deep playoff run. Meanwhile, the Heat are searching for their own motivation to finish strong, hoping this loss serves as a catalyst for a late-season surge.
That wraps up our sports roundup for today. Thanks for joining us for these updates. Be sure to follow the show for your next daily briefing on the stories that matter most.